We begin with outrage in Kentucky after a convict released from prison 13 and a half years early under what they call shock probation just last year is brought up on new kidnapping, assault, and robbery charges. Armand Langford appearing in court yesterday. He is accused of abducting a woman and her two young sons from their house on Friday to help him go and rob a bank in Louisville.
So much for rehab. Police say he forced the mom to drive her own car at knife point while one of the sons was in the front. Langford sat in the back with the youngest son. When they arrived at the bank, Langford allegedly used the mom as bait, threatening to kill her if the teller didn't give him $20,000. The teller gave him some cash. He ran off, but was found and arrested 6 hours later.
So the suspect is now being held on a $1 million bond, and we're learning he should have been serving a 14-year sentence for similar robberies, but he was released from custody early on shock probation in July of 2024 after serving just 5 months. Shock probation allows certain misdemeanors and felony offenders a second chance after a short time behind bars. A judge considers the seriousness of their crime and how the criminal is attempting to reform. The convict then serves the remainder of their sentence on probation if granted.
I'd never heard of that before. Meanwhile, Langford was granted shock probation under the conditions that he completed intensive outpatient treatment and submit to random drug tests. The family said this would never happen if Langford had served his full punishment.
Other states like Ohio, Indiana, Georgia, Texas, Alabama, and Iowa also offer shock probation programs. So he tells the judge, I was so shocked by my time in prison, those 6 months. I promise, Judge, I won't offend again. And then the judge lets him out.
Well, I've heard of, different sentences being deferred and the court deciding to allow the offender out. Never this early on someone that has already committed robbery. It's a violent offense. You would think that they would, take it a little bit more seriously, but apparently this is happening across the country. It's the first time I've heard of the term, though.
Number one, I'd like to know the criteria. I mean, is it the gut feeling of a therapist that's worked with him constantly? Is there a punch list of things that they got to be able to pass? I mean, is there a panel that he's got to go in front of and impress? Or is it just one person just saying, okay, we have an overcrowded prison, let's let this guy go and see what happens?
And what happens now? Does he go back to prison and then can he say, oh, I was shocked again, and he gets out again? He took this robbery to the next level. He took this woman, broke into their house, allegedly, and grabbed her two young sons and throws her in her car. She has to drive with a knife to her neck. We're going to interview Brandon Strong, who is the dad, the husband, whose family was allegedly kidnapped, coming up.
Well, he automatically has to now, if the judge has any brains, serve the rest of the first sentence now. He has to do the full 14 years.
You don't
and
know.
then
Some of
that's
these judges
additional.
are so liberal.
That's what I mean. If this judge has a brain, he's violated it twice. So he needs to do the 14 years plus the charges for this, which is kidnapping as well as robbery.
But how about this? Besides the judge and the shock probation, whoever evaluated these people have to be accountable. I want to know who they are. Who's the therapist that said, I think he's going to be fine? Right? Who didn't know? I mean, this guy, in a matter of hours, is out there doing things worse than he did before.
Right.
So I would like to know who's responsible for that.
How do you know? How do you know?
Oh, I know.
It's
Well, I'd like to ask that question.
And now, when we're reading which states also have shock probation, should we be concerned about that? Should
100%.
we re-look at those laws and maybe change those laws? I mean, the state of Texas, that's shocking.
I'm curious of the foundation of it. I mean, the judges that I work for, it wasn't just the psychologists. They wanted you to do programs. And it was years of proving yourself before you got another shot.
Right.
6 months into a 14-year sentence is egregious.
All right.
So a terrifying moment for one family. A mother and her two sons kidnapped from their home at knife point and forced to help rob a bank in Louisville Friday, according to police. The suspect arrested after a manhunt is now being held on a $1 million bond. Court records show he was sentenced to 14 years in prison last year for a string of robberies, but was released after serving just a few months on shock probation. It's the idea that the offender was so shocked by his time in jail, he would no longer commit crimes. The husband and father of those victims, Brandon Strong, joins us now. Good morning to you, Brandon.
Hi, good morning, sir. Thank you for having me.
So when you found out that this happened to your wife and kids, what ran through your mind? And this was a repeat offender.
Pure shock, confusion, anger. Your heart feels like it falls out of your body. It is one of the phone calls you never expect to ever get as a father, as a husband, or a human. It's just something that I never would have dreamed that would have ever happened. It's just pure shock.
So, Brandon, according to the records, Jessica Green, who was the judge, decided to release this guy after a few months. Now, he was already supposed to serve 14 years for doing the same thing before. Of course, he didn't do kidnapping, but he was doing robberies. What is your message to the court system for allowing this to happen?
It's squarely on you. It's squarely on you. You allowed this to happen. This is something that was not a surprise to anyone. Myself, once I finally found out who it was, and obviously it came out in the news. No one's surprised if it's a pattern. This is something that's stemming back, nearly a decade. This guy is robbing people. He's robbing businesses. You stamped this. You stamped this for him to be rehabilitated based on what? Based on what?
Brandon, is this the first time you've heard about this terminology, shock probation?
I've heard it. I didn't necessarily know exactly the meaning as far as what determines what you get and this, that, and the other. Looking into it now, it's just the only thing shocked, it should be the public. It's unbelievable that this was allowed to happen. This is, like I said, this is a guy who, this was not a guy running red lights for a few years. This is a guy committing serious crimes, and he was robbing people. Like I said, this is definitely not anything that should surprise anyone that he got out and did this again. But for the most part, well, why wouldn't he? He's not getting any trouble.
Brandon, this had to be a traumatic event. I can't imagine, as a father and a husband, getting the call about this. How's your wife and kids doing?
They're doing okay. Every day hopefully will be a little bit better. It'll be a little bit less trauma for them as the time goes on. I'm not sure of. That's something that unfortunately I'll have the duty of picking up the pieces probably for the rest of their lives. My wife's very shooken up, and so is my middle son. He's autistic, who doesn't process a lot, and so it's very, very tough on him. But my youngest barely wants to talk about it. So this is something that I'm going to have to address, unfortunately for my family, for many, many years to come.
Brandon, would you say that after all this has happened to your family, and the fact that you've seen a recent example of a repeat offender doing this, that this shock probation, it needs to go away?
Yeah. The whole entire judicial system that made this decision needs to go away. That in my opinion, this is something that was, that you've got these judges getting appointed, running unopposed except for write-ins. They are 100% at fault here. But when it comes to like the shock probation, I don't see how that was even an option. How would that be an option for someone who is a violent criminal, someone who's not a good person? There's no way to truly be able to look at the family and look them in the eyes and say, you know what, I made the right decision when I did this. I hope they're losing sleep at night every day like we are.
They should. Brandon, thanks for being so brave and telling your family's story. And I hope that it shines light on this issue, because many people in the country, this is the first time they've heard about these shock probations. Thank you so much for joining the program.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.